So I needed to script this scene. And the two of them,
the way he delivers that line,
all of you, I mean,
arise,
yeah.
and Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It was, I think we all felt it in the room.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Just how charged that whole time was, and they both just blew it away. They were so fantastic.
Look at that face. I mean, and a credit to David Nutter too. David, if there was any director suited to that scene and to this episode, it's him. The way he communicates with you all and honors text and illuminates text with the way he shoots and his sensitivity, his own vulnerability, which I think I also have as a writer. I think we're very heart in our sleeves people, David and I.
It's all right.
And that moment is a great example just then of that beautiful, radiant smile and tears. That's an example of David having the right instinct and myself having the wrong instinct, because I remember watching that take and going, oh, I think it might be too much. It's too sentimental. And I went and I ran in, and he was going to wrap for the day, and I ran in and I said, can we get a take where she keeps it together? Like, she's obviously very moved, but she keeps it together. And he got the take, and Gwen performed it, and it was great.
You still have a family.
And then I saw the first cut of the episode, and of course that's the shot that was in here, and I thought, oh my God, I was so wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. We could have wrapped 10 minutes early because...
Thanks, Bryan.
Yeah, sorry about that. Because he was right and she was right. They illuminated something in the scene that I didn't even know was there.
Well, it's a payoff, isn't it? It's a real payoff for the character in terms of it's almost the first time you've ever seen her genuinely smiling like that.
Yeah.
Or releasing that
much emotion. Yeah.
Warmth. Yeah.
I learned a lot from that. And that's the beauty of working on a show like this is you learn about yourself as a person, you learn about yourself as a writer, you challenge your misconceptions, you make mistakes, you hopefully learn from them as you move on. And to be able to work on something for this long, that's what happens. It really is. It's like an amazing finishing school.
Hi there. Normally I want to avoid putting my own audio into these videos I'm making about the Season 8 commentary tracks, but in this case I have to make a big exception, because in a perfect world I would have contrasted this by just putting the clip from Austin Film Fest where Benioff and Weiss themselves said, we didn't know what we were doing, we had no prior training, and this whole multi-million-dollar prestige project was the world's most expensive film school for us. I wanted to just run that clip, but the last time I posted audio from that panel, Austin Film Fest hit me with a copyright claim that shut my channel down for 3 weeks. I won the counterclaim on that, so my video clips got restored, so you can see the clip of them saying that on my channel. It is linked below, but I'm hesitant to put it into new videos, just ones that survived the copyright process. But this slide you're seeing now is an accurate transcript of it. Go and check out the short clip of this. It's all there. So you have them at Austin Film Fest saying technical things, which are worse, that we didn't know how to coordinate production units, even like the costumers. We were ridiculously unskilled for this. This isn't a matter of art. It's basic stuff like production units, how to deal with costumers, the cameras, things you're supposed to know, that this isn't a matter of opinion. Cogman did not say exactly the same thing, admittedly. He's talking about what might seem innocuous for another writer to say, that wow, you're always learning so much about the characters and the writing process. You're always learning new things about yourself and your creations, which is a fair statement. And then saying, it's like an awesome finishing school, just expensive film school, awesome finishing school. These are similar phrases, and I'm not sure if he's directly influenced by what they said or if this is a coincidence. It sounds like it's influenced by that. Make what conclusions you will. And if Benioff and Weiss hadn't said that months later, this is before Austin Film Fest, in of itself just saying you're learning so much about the characters might seem a little silly given how bad the characterization got, but it's not that crazy in and of itself. But I will point out, if you actually sit down and look at all of their interviews and all of their videos, not just Benioff and Weiss, but all of the cast and crew, you see them repeating stock phrases over and over again, which have clearly devolved into just talking points. Now, I understand that people who give multiple interviews, like major actors, like Patrick Stewart or something, when he gives multiple interviews, he'll end up repeating some of the same phrases because he's giving the same story. I completely get that. I suppose the difference is the quality of the things you're repeating, that it's not a good story. These are talking points and catchphrases, like in a political ad, like propaganda. It's a thought-terminating cliche. It's a short propaganda phrase meant to get people to stop discussing it or asking questions. The infamous example is we started noticing in season 6 a lot of the cast and crew repeating the phrase, well, we did that to be dramatically satisfying, to silence a criticism of why doesn't Sansa tell Jon about the Vale Army? Sophie saying, well, to make it dramatically satisfying. And we started noticing, like, directors saying that in the commentary tracks, these specific phrases that, you know, if one of them starts saying, well, I guess they kind of forgot, they're not that crazy, but still, you'll see them repeating what was clearly drilled into them by Benioff and Weiss during the pep talk that must have happened on set, or in the writer's room of why is this happening? And particularly with Cogman, because he's around them all the time and says, they mentored me, when they don't know how writing works. I don't mean that as an opinion. They don't have screenwriting degrees. And how would they teach you things? And they're making basic mistakes like don't put notes in scene descriptions. The audience can't see them. So if you follow Cogman enough, and he would admit this readily, that, well, yeah, I'm repeating things Benioff and Weiss tell me about. They're mentoring me and instructing me that writing is showing off these performances and these faces. Like that's something that they'll say at other points. None of this is too surprising that he's around them a lot. And when we get back to the Austin Film Fest thing of, well, I guess it was a really expensive film school for us. Memory doesn't quite serve, but I'm pretty sure that's not the first time they've said that. I mean, later this year, I'm going to do this big project where I go through every video they've made for the past 8 years, which actually isn't that much. It's like 3 hours of material across 10 years worth of interviews. That's not that much in the grand scheme of things. But other times where they recite the ha-ha funny story of how the first pilot was a failure, they do say variations on, I guess it was a learning experience, up to it was like a big film school, up to not just the pilot, but the first seasons were a film school, an expensive film school for us. That this is the talking point that they use to put a positive spin on this disaster, that you faked your way into running a pilot. This isn't a cable channel pilot. This is for HBO. This is for a premium channel. This is for an Emmy-level thing on the home of The Sopranos or The Wire. That it is unusual. This isn't normal that someone with no background in television production or screenwriting managed to monopolize control over it without even a writing staff, just him, Benioff, and 2 or 3 cronies, but they'd admit we don't have a full writing staff. We have no oversight from HBO, and they kind of own the criticism and deflect it by joking about it. Ha ha, I guess I don't know what I'm doing. And I've talked about this in other videos. To disarm, well, I guess it's just an expensive film school. That works if you're in front of an audience like at San Diego Comic-Con and it gets a laugh, where they'll joke about how the first pilot was a failure, or a celebrity blog interview for an MTV News video clip or something. This was Austin Film Fest, a writers' conference, and they did not have the wherewithal that is, in this context, really offensive to say, this was an expensive film school for us, we were unqualified, to people you kind of took the job away from or wouldn't hire to at least work for you. So that isn't a joke. That the fact that they're joking about it, I guess the first pilot was a multi-million-dollar failure. Remember when they tried to do that on Jimmy Kimmel, and he wasn't quite as amused by it as they were, and was making jokes at their expense, that, wow, they had foolish faith in you guys. That the point of this whole commentary here is, I'm pretty sure that's a joke and / talking point that they'll repeat amongst themselves on set, or at other interviews Benioff and Weiss has given the Cogman has seen, that this must be a joking thing they say on set, or even a genuine belief. That, well, we may have screwed up, but we're learning. To the point they don't take it seriously, and, well, I guess this is film school for us, that they're so desensitized and removed from the public view that they'll make jokes about, this is a big finishing school. And he said amazing finishing school, not expensive film school, but what do you think in the comments here? This sounds like that other phrase they said, admittedly not as controversial, but it's weird that you hear their words coming out of his mouth because he's a crony. He just repeats what they say around the set every day. Tell me in the comments, what do you think of the similarities to this?